The past few decades have seen China become a global superpower, and so it should come as no surprise that the Chinese military is, by manpower, the largest in the world. China's military spending is about a third of that of the USA. Today, we list some of the best Chinese fighter jets of the People's Liberation Army Air Force. The rise of the People's Liberation Army Air Force parallels that of the Chinese military over the past century and indeed, China itself. 100 years ago, China had no air force, was in the grips of unrest and civil war, and was in total economic, social, and political chaos. Today, China is a superpower and the second biggest military spender behind the United States. Though it still lags far behind, $716 billion to $224 billion as of 2019. Even so, China's considerable military spending has made it a force to be reckoned with, including the PLAAF. The story of the People's Liberation Army Air Force also parallels that of Chinese industry and self-sufficiency. Over the decades, China has moved from purchasing Soviet and Russian jets to making its own. How many fighter jets does China have? That's hard to answer precisely, given the obvious roadblocks of state secrecy and China's cool relationship with the West. Estimates are generally somewhere in the thousands. In developing its own fighter jets, China strengthened its sense of national military identity. The fighter jets on this list exemplify that trend. Starting with number 11, Shenyang J-12. Let's start this list with a lesser-known but historically important jet, the Shenyang J-12. This was one of China's first serious attempts at developing an indigenous supersonic fighter jet, during a time when the country was heavily reliant on Soviet imports. Built in 1970, during the turbulent era of the Cultural Revolution, the J-12 symbolized China's ambition to break free from foreign dependency and chart its own path in aerospace technology. Though it never entered mass production and was used only for test flights, its development marked a critical turning point in China's aviation history. Only a few prototypes were ever built, but the J-12 laid the foundation for future homegrown fighter jets. In many ways, it was the first spark of what would eventually become China's modern fighter jet industry. Number 10. Sukhoi Su-27. The Sukhoi Su-27 was a product of the late Soviet era, a direct response to American fighters like the F-14 Tomcat. While the Su-27 saw limited export, China managed to acquire several units in the 1990s, marking a significant upgrade for the PLAAF. Designed for air superiority, the Su-27 impressed with its range, speed, and agility, giving China a serious boost in aerial combat capabilities at the time. But perhaps its biggest impact wasn't just on the battlefield, it was in the factory. Under a licensed production agreement, China began building its own version of the Su-27, leading to the creation of the Shenyang J-11. Over 100 units were produced, and this move planted the seeds for China's future self-reliance in fighter jet production. The Su-27 wasn't just an import, it was an inspiration. Number 9. Sukhoi Su-35. The Sukhoi Su-35 is a modern evolution of the iconic Su series, a family of jets that has long defined Russian air power. While China's connection with the Su family began decades ago under Mao, it continued well into the 21st century with the acquisition of the Su-35, one of Russia's most advanced fourth-generation plus fighter jets. Built with superior maneuverability, powerful engines, and advanced avionics, the Su-35 offered China an immediate boost in air combat strength, even if it wasn't domestically produced. However, the deal wasn't without controversy. Russia grew concerned that China might reverse engineer the Su-35, as it had done in the past with aircraft like the Su-27. Intellectual property rights became a sticking point, highlighting the growing tension between arms trade and national innovation. Regardless, the Su-35 helped bridge the gap while China continued developing its own next-gen fighters like the J-20. Number 8. Sukhoi Su-30MKK. The Sukhoi Su-30MKK stands as one of the most versatile jets in China's arsenal, a twin-seat, multi-role fighter developed from the legendary Su series. Often compared to the US F-15E Strike Eagle, this aircraft blends speed, range, and strike capability, making it a true force multiplier for both the PLAAF and Chinese Navy. Introduced in 2000, the Su-30MKK was tailored specifically for Chinese requirements. It can hit speeds of Mach 2, perform precision strikes, and dominate in air-to-air combat, all while carrying a second crew member for enhanced mission control. China has also acquired the upgraded Su-30MK2 version, further enhancing maritime strike capabilities. While it remains a Russian design, China has made efforts to modernize and adapt the platform for its evolving strategic needs. The Su-30MKK isn't just a fighter, it's a workhorse of the skies, still relevant after more than 2 decades of service. Number 7. Shenyang FC-31. The Shenyang FC-31, also known as the J-31, is China's bold entry into the world of 5th-generation stealth fighters, and a direct rival to America's F-35 Lightning II. Designed for stealth, speed, and versatility, the FC-31 is still in development but has already caught global attention. Its sleek lines, internal weapon bays, and radar-deflecting design suggest it's built for air superiority and export potential, making it a powerful contender in the global fighter jet market. What makes the FC-31 even more controversial is how it may have been developed. In 2009, the Wall Street Journal reported allegations of cyber espionage, claiming that Chinese hackers stole critical data from the F-35 program, possibly influencing the FC-31's design. Whether or not those claims are true, the FC-31 signals one thing clearly: China is racing toward stealth dominance, and the world is watching. Number 6. Shenyang J-8. First introduced in the 1960s, the Shenyang J-8 may not be flashy by today's standards, but its longevity makes it one of the most enduring Chinese fighter jets ever produced. Initially designed as a lightweight, high-speed interceptor, the J-8 was intended to defend Chinese airspace during the Cold War era. The upgraded J-82 variant, launched in 1984, featured improved avionics and radar, extending its relevance well into the 21st century. Despite its age, around 300 J-8s are still believed to be in active service, mostly in their J-82 form. This speaks volumes about China's strategy of extending the life of its aircraft while gradually phasing in more advanced jets like the J-10. While the J-8 is certainly on its way out, it remains a symbol of China's early aerospace engineering success, and a reminder of how far the PLAAF has come. Number 5. Shenyang J-11. The Shenyang J-11 is a perfect example of China's strategy. Take proven foreign designs and adapt them for local production. Modeled after the Soviet Su-27, the J-11 is a twin-engine air superiority fighter that's currently in service with both the PLAAF and the Chinese Navy. Originally, the jet was planned to feature Rolls-Royce engines, and later, Chinese-built WS-10A engines were considered. But ultimately, China went with the Russian Lyulka AL-31F engines for the initial versions, a choice that gave the J-11 impressive speed, reaching Mach 2.1. Later variants like the J-11B marked a major step forward, featuring Chinese-built engines and systems, pushing China closer to full self-reliance in fighter jet manufacturing. The J-11 isn't just a copy, it's a transitional powerhouse, bridging the gap between foreign dependency and China's rise as a military aviation innovator. Number 4. Shenyang J-15, nicknamed the Flying Shark. The Shenyang J-15 is China's first carrier-based fighter jet, modeled after the Russian Su-33, but heavily modified to fit the needs of the PLA Navy. Introduced in 2013, the J-15 marked a major milestone for China's naval aviation. It was the first Chinese fighter to successfully take off and land on the Liaoning aircraft carrier, a moment proudly broadcast by state media in late 2012. Despite being a 4th-generation fighter, in contrast to newer 5th-gen jets like the FC-31 or the F-35, the J-15 is still a formidable machine. It boasts powerful engines, strong payload capacity, and air-to-air combat capabilities tailored for carrier operations. However, it's not without flaws. Reports have highlighted performance issues, especially during rough sea conditions and bad weather, leading some to see it as a temporary solution until more advanced naval fighters arrive. Still, the J-15 remains a symbol of China's expanding naval reach and a key step in asserting dominance at sea. Number 3. Chengdu J-7. The Chengdu J-7 is a Chinese-built version of the iconic Soviet MiG-21, first produced in 1966. Though originally intended as a temporary solution during China's early aerospace development, it became one of the most widely used fighter jets in the PLAAF's history. Even decades later, over 300 J-7s are believed to remain in service across the PLAAF and Chinese Navy, primarily serving in deterrent roles or as interceptors. While production has long since stopped, the J-7's simplicity, speed, and cost-effectiveness have made it attractive to foreign militaries. Countries like Iran and Egypt continue to operate them in active roles, while others, such as Myanmar, use them for pilot training. Despite being outdated by modern standards, the J-7 has proven to be reliable, adaptable, and surprisingly long-lived, a testament to its enduring legacy in global military aviation. Number 2. Chengdu J-10. This aircraft is used by both the PLAAF as well as the Chinese Navy. While it is produced by Chengdu, the Russian Siberian Aeronautical Research Institute has previously confirmed that it was involved. That Russian influence extends to the parts used in the aircraft itself. For example, the J-10 makes use of a Leilka Saturn AL-31FN engine, produced by Russia. It was originally intended to have a Chinese engine, the WS-10 Taihang, but problems with this resulted in the adoption of the AL-31FN. The PLAAF is not the only air force to place an order for the J-10. The Pakistani Air Force has done so as well. At least 40 jets are thought to have been produced for use in their air force. Number 1. Chengdu J-20. As is the case in the United States, France, Russia, and other countries, a few defense contractors are responsible for most of the jets in the PLAAF. Chengdu is one of the biggest names in Chinese aviation. The Chengdu 20 is one of the newest fighter jets in the PLAAF. It is a stealth air superiority fighter and is designed to compete with the F-35 and other American fighter jets. The plane is thus designed with state-of-the-art components, including a Shenyang WS-10B engine. It is designed with stealth capabilities. Other information, such as the type of radar technology used, has not been released by Chinese officials. More military secrets include the type of electronic systems used on board, although these are generally assumed to be quite advanced. The total number of jets produced is also a closely guarded secret. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified about our latest military and aviation content. Let me know in the comments which fighter jet impressed you the most, or what topics you want to see next. Until next time, stay safe and keep exploring the skies.